Good morning, everybody. This is No One Unscripted, and today I am going to start the Greek alphabet series of No One Unscripted while also doing Zero Hour Utopia by No One Unscripted. They're going to be talking about just different things, and I'm going to try to keep this series of the Greek alphabet as short as possible. Today's first episode will be about Joe Biden, who in a few hours will be taking office as the 46th President of the United States of America. And Mr. Biden has been part of our government and public service for 47 years. He has endured some of the most horrible pains in his life. He has been part of many controversies that many of and he's owned up to them. He has made reparations. He has learned from his mistakes. He has grown, and he has ushered in a new era for American democracy. For the last 243 years, American democracy has been governed by white men. And Mr. Joe Biden stood behind Barack Obama and was his vice president and ushered in a new age. And today, when he leads Kamala Harris to the top of the shining city on top of the hill, you got to get on top of the shining city on top of the hill. Yeah, there's a lot of. Uh, he will be starting another chapter. I believe that history will remember him, Joe Biden, as the transition man. But I want to talk to you, and I want to warn everybody about the possibility that the side of the levers of power that prefer supremacy, that like the disparate treatment of people, who prefer the money going up and nothing really trickling down, they are not going to like Joe Biden. And there are going to be scandals and controversies that are going to be thrown his way. And people aren't going to be able to figure out why this white man is being attacked by uh, the right. It's because he has ended, effectively, he has ended the rule of imperialism in America. We don't know how important that is today, but give it 5 years, give it 10 years, and you'll see that Joe Biden has effectively done away with the primacy of the white man's property rights, which was, uh, and still today is, the backbone of the originalist movement or the ultra conservative movement, which uh, they firmly believe that the American Constitution was written wholly for the white man's property rights. And when it was written, because women were chattel and African Americans were slaves and therefore the white man's property, it was comprehensive in that understanding that saying all men were created equal applied to everything owned by the white man. Uh, I'll do an episode with this one. Maybe I'll do a beta, and I'll talk to you about what I think the founding fathers uh, intended when they wrote the Constitution, the way that they wrote the Constitution. Uh, and it has some relationship to the 1776 commission that Donald did and talked about the reasoning and the defense of our founding fathers owning slaves. Uh, it's a bit more complicated than they were bad and they are good. And it has something to do with uh, reparation over time. Maybe I'll do a longer episode about it in Utopia. But it's been 5 minutes, and I just wanted to let you know that Joe Biden is one of the most consequential figures in American history when we look back at American history 100 years from now. Yeah, 100 years from now. Because he has changed the face of the American presidency. Um, he has brought it down to earth. Um, he has given it to the people. And he has effectively broken the back of imperialism in America. Uh, First, by supporting and being Barack Obama's vice president, and today being sworn in as the 46th president of the United States with Kamala Harris as his vice president. In one fell swoop, in the span of 12 years, this man, despite his losses, despite his trials and tribulations, has served his nation and has served the idea that is foundational in our Declaration of Independence and in our Constitution, that is of ever evolving, ever striving for a more perfect union, because it's going to take an never-ending string of progress and striving to be better to get to where our founding fathers wanted us to get. And and I believe that Joe Biden has probably done more for that cause than anybody in the last century. Uh, the quintessential purpose of the union. So for that, thank you, Mr. Biden. Thank you, Mr. President Biden. And welcome to your tenure to show us what you can do for us and for our country. I love you. And I stand with you. E pluribus unum.